Hello.
Hi.
It like pauses. It doesn't like come up.
I know, I don't think it does for the people watching though, so that's good.
Oh, hi everybody. Forget that we were delayed. There's a delay on our end. I am Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching, and I am
I
joined
am
by
Krista Barone, longtime guest slash co-host.
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 Co-host. Yeah. And if you can't tell, we're potentially related. Allegedly. Allegedly.
We're only matching even,
Allegedly.
so
Well,
allegedly, if you're a Sal Volcano
allegedly.
fan, you'll know that.
So, welcome to Moment of Presence. Moment of Presence, we've kind of, I've had guests and we've had lots of chats, but we've kind of gotten away from like, why do we do Moment of Presence? And just to review, since it's, now going to be February 2025, Moment of Presence is really to give you a pause in your, to allow you to have just a little bit of space uh, when you join us, whenever you join us, a little bit of space to just center yourself,
Yeah.
ground, take a couple deep breaths, just reset. No matter where you are, what you're doing. I will take us through some deep breaths. When we do that, we'll take a deep breath in, hold it for 3, and then we'll exhale, and we'll go through that. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But the whole purpose of this was to make sure that everybody got in the habit of taking a moment for their self. We rush around all day long doing this, doing that. Oh my gosh, I have a to-do list, and we're going to talk about that. We have all these things that we want to get done. But if we don't have the energy, and I mean mentally, spiritually, and physically, we're not going to get those done, or we're going to do it in a half-assed way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Moment of Presence is for. Now, the topics we bring to you because we want to give you some tools to utilize just to make your life better, to understand things or see things in a different perspective. And so, thank you for joining us. And if you know someone that this topic today relates to, then share it out to them. Like and subscribe so you get notified when we go live. So that's all I wanted to say in the beginning. How about you, Krista?
Thanks for joining us. Ditto. Everything that you just said.
I've made her speechless. So there we go. Uh, so today's topic.
Yeah.
Where is your puzzle piece missing? Where is your puzzle piece?
Is your puzzle missing a piece?
Is your puzzle missing a piece? What in the world are we talking about? So, how many of you wrote out in detail every single thing you wanted to accomplish for 2025? Krista, did you?
I mean, I made a list. I didn't write in detail. Who's got time for that?
Well, some people go through that whole process of this is my big goal, and these are all the little steps I can take in order to get there.
I mean, listen, if that's your process, that's your process. It ain't mine.
I mean, I think it works for some, right? When you're planning a big party, it's great to know when the deadline is and then what has to be done a week before, 2 weeks before. Same thing. So I do think there's a lot of validity to it. And if it works for you, not all of these things work for every single one of us. And so I wanted to talk about and share what we do, what has worked for us before, may not work now, what's working for us now. What does that look like? Because we've talked a lot about the law of attraction, right? And bringing in what we want. We got to ask, then we've got to kind of let the universe go, okay, let me figure out how I'm going to make this happen. And while the universe, God, is doing that, we have to set ourselves up in order to receive it. And if we're sitting there, where's my stuff? It ain't going to work because you put up a spiritual block, a wall, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen. So
Well, and
that's
not only putting up
yeah.
a spiritual wall, but sometimes when you hold on to things that you're supposed to let go of, you can unintentionally do this as well.
Yes, yes. Or you're holding on, well, and same, I think, is what you're saying, holding on to a bunch of crap that you no longer need, whether
Right.
it's physical or mental or
Mhm.
spiritual. There's no room, there's no space. And sometimes we have to release in order to receive because you got to make room.
Yep.
Got to
Yep.
make room for it, right?
Sometimes even
We,
something as silly as cleaning out your closet, you then end up with a raise at work the next week.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's amazing. It's amazing. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And so if you're joining us, please make sure that you say hi in the comments. Let us know that you're here because we don't have the luxury of seeing your name in most cases.
No,
So,
in some cases, most of them actually now do. Now we can, because
oh,
the
okay, cool.
Facebook groups aren't included anymore. So we're actually good on that now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, let us know you're here and you can at least tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
So, or you can join in the conversation. Even better. So, uh, what did you do? Last night was the big new moon and lunar new year. What is it? The year of the snake, which is very lots of prosperity and good luck,
Mhm.
setting your good intentions. What did you do last night? Did you do any of that?
Last night I worked, went to bed, and woke up today. I probably should have done stuff, but I didn't. What about you?
Well, throw the should out because we know we
I did
don't.
that specifically with the quotes.
Ha
In
ha
yeah.
ha. Ha 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 ha. I spent some time outside looking at the stars
Mm,
and, well, I should say the planets, which is super
mhm.
cool because there were like, there, if I had gone out earlier, there would have been five in alignment, which would have
That's so
been cool.
cool.
So I missed it. So I got, there were three, I think, that you could see. So it was a beautiful evening. And as I was looking up at the planets and the sky, I was thinking about just, I was putting myself more in a state of gratitude.
Mm,
And so for me, be I, the universe and God knows what I want. Like I have a very good communication. I have good communication
mhm.
and I express what I would like or what I want more of a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, did I write it all down? No, because I just want more of what I already have.
Mhm.
I'm very content with exactly the way things are going right now. I love everything that's happening in my world. I just want more. I just want it enhanced.
It's
So I didn't feel the need to write it down.
Well, it's funny you say that because if anyone watches Abraham Hicks, you'll know that a lot of times people will get up and they'll say all these things that you want, and she'll go, and they'll say things like a new job, or I want more money, or I want these things, and she goes, okay, well, what about good health? And I go, oh, well, I already have that, and they'll go, okay, but don't you want more of it? Then you need to be asking for it. So
Right.
it's interesting that that you said you left some stuff out, um, because yes, you have it already, but you do want to keep it.
Exactly. And, I mean, we've worked for other people, bosses, and, going through the whole like, let's write down your goals and the milestones you want to hit. And let's get down to the nitty gritty by how many hours or what do you want to do within
Yeah.
those hours. Hey, Raymond, how are you? Thanks for joining us. And it never felt right to me to
Hmm.
do that. It just never felt right because I was good with I seem to always be happy with where I'm at.
Well, you're more focused on the way that you want to feel, which I think, that's how I usually always answer that question anyway. When, that's a big question a lot of people ask is, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years, 20 years,
Right.
whatever it is? And it's like, I don't, I see myself happy. I see myself taken care of. I see myself with plenty of money in my bank account that I don't even have to worry about it. I
Mhm.
see myself surrounded by people I love. I see myself in a beautiful home. The actual specifics are somewhat irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
It's how do I want to feel? What does my life look
Right.
like?
I think that's amazing.
Hmm.
Um, and isn't that how it's supposed to be? I mean, does a car make you well, I guess if you're driving off the and it's funny because in my time hop today was the picture of you buying a car so many years ago. That
Yeah,
was a great experience and driving off the car lot in your new car and you could see it in the smile in the picture.
11 years ago
But
or
do you
12.
need a new car to feel that way?
No, I feel
Exactly.
I literally got in my car the last time I got in my car a couple days ago. Probably says that I don't go anywhere. So anyway, I gave myself away there. And I literally got in my car and I was driving, and I was actually almost every single time I get in my car, I think about the very when I bought my car, the first time I bought my car, how grateful I am to have my car.
Mhm.
And at first I was going, I should probably get a new car soon. And then I literally stopped and went, why would I get a new car? I love this one. It's great. It's been so good to me.
Mhm.
It's running well. There's nothing. I mean, it's still just as perfect as it was when I bought it.
Yeah. And that feeling that you got with the wait a minute,
Hmm.
that's the feeling that we need, that we want more of, that we want to tap into. And so, one of the things that I can suggest to those of you that, because there are people that are like, okay,
Hmm.
where's my stuff?
And listen, let me just say, I am a big person that does that with certain things.
I agree. I will do that too
Yeah.
sometimes.
And I think
Absolutely.
I
We all
think
do.
it's very personal to the person of like there's certain now there are some people who do it with everything, but I think there you get to a certain point where like you no matter what you're still going to do it in certain areas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's being human. Raymond says, I'm awake and breathing, which is always a blessing. Exactly.
Amen, Raymond.
And so if you have a nice day and you continue to be awake and continue to breathe, which is wonderful, then that continues to be your blessing. And I know another one is being in service. I want that. I started my meditation with that this morning. Like, I just want to be used as a vessel
Hmm.
for the divine to speak through me and allow me to help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Everything else, and I have to have good health for that, right? I have to have an open heart for that. I
Hmm.
have to have the right mindset for that. So one thing can incorporate all of the others because in order to do that, I have to have my faith, I have to have trust, I have to have love in my heart, and
Hmm.
I have to be in the right state of mind,
Yeah.
or I have to be in peace.
Yeah.
And so I love that, Raymond. So what works, what do you suggest, or is there anything that you do differently um, that you want to share? And then I'll share.
Wait, ask the question again?
Is there anything that you do that you want to share to help people understand what do you do in that time of waiting for the universe to deliver?
Why don't you go first? I got to think about this.
My thoughts are you can write down all the things you're grateful for.
Mm.
That's what I do, especially if I'm starting to feel like impatient.
Hmm.
Why do I want whatever it is I'm waiting for? What
Hmm.
is the purpose of it? What is it going to
Hmm.
do for me?
Hmm.
Like, if like we're going to the Greek festival this weekend, I can't wait. Why? Because it re-energizes me. It makes me feel um
Connected to your
alive and
heritage.
connected to my heritage. Why is that important? Because it's a stability. It's a foundation that I was raised on, and so it makes me feel closer to my my family that isn't even here anymore. And so that's why it just feels good to be in that environment. It just
Hmm.
is happy and joyful, and I dance, do the Greek dances and join in, and so it's community
Hmm.
and togetherness, and it feels good, and I get to see people that I haven't seen in a long time. Um, And so that's what I put in my heart.
Mhm.
And God, God forbid, if we don't get to go, I had this moment of thinking about it and sharing about how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
And so that right there is really good. It
Mhm.
feels good. Like I can put myself there already. And so those are some of the things that's something that I do.
We are so very much golden retriever and cat. Because for me, the only thing I can think of is like, for me, it's managing my anxiety
Yeah.
and whatever that looks like to do that, whether it's, um, um, you know, I'm a big proponent of things like CBD. I'm a big proponent of meditating when you're anxious,
Mhm.
grounding when you're anxious, putting your feet on the earth. That is something proven to help. I think it really depends on the mindset that you have, though. Um,
Mhm.
I think different things work for different people, but the biggest thing is to get off the subject. How do you get off the subject completely? Because if you're
Yeah.
just sitting there completely obsessing about it, what you're actually doing is holding yourself in a holding pattern of not having that thing. So,
Mhm.
regardless of what the actual method is, it really all comes down to get off the subject.
And I'm glad you brought that up because being in that anxiety, being in that worry, being in that mode
Hmm.
is more. That's where we go more into like a step 4 moment, right? Because 3 is receiving. The 4 is the not feeling it, like
Hmm.
anxious and
Hmm.
impatient, and
Hmm.
the biggest thing that helps me is to go, okay, this is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Why am I here? Okay. And then I'll write down, and sometimes I write down like the negative stuff,
Hmm.
which seems counterintuitive, but there's a second part to it. You write down all the negative stuff, whatever you're feeling, whether you're annoyed, you're upset, whatever it is, and then you go, okay, but what's the flip side of this?
Hmm.
And then you write that down.
Hmm.
And so you're kind of forcing a shift
Hmm.
by looking at it from that other angle.
So, are you saying, like, a let's say a real life example of that would be, let's say someone's unemployed and looking for a job. The negative is I'm unemployed and I'm looking for a job. The positive is I have time to decompress and re-energize myself as my new job comes to me,
Yeah.
as my new
And
job finds me.
yes, and that had to be told to me
Hmm.
when I left the hospital
Hmm.
and I was looking and
For
looking
work in
for
corporate.
work. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Hmm.
I forget. Uh, and someone said to me, enjoy this time
Yeah.
because the other side of this, once you walk through that next door, you're going to be busy as hell.
Hmm.
Take a moment and breathe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raymond. Breathe and enjoy that space
Hmm.
and give yourself grace on it. And when you can step back and just enjoy that time and not put the pressure on yourself,
Hmm.
well, that was when the door opened for the next thing.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to clients about this where, they'll wake up sometimes in the middle of the night. They can't sleep. They're worried. Oh my gosh, I got to get a job. I got to get a job. Let me sit down. I've got to look through the want ads, and I got want ads. I Indeed, want ads.
I mean,
Where would that come from?
I think it's still. I mean, I feel like
That's
you
as
can
bad as
call them
going, I
that.
was looking in the Sunday paper at the classifieds and circling the jobs.
You're just it still applies. It's just
I was
digitally.
printing my resume.
Listen,
Um,
every job posting technically is a want ad, so I think you're
yes.
right on the money.
Anywho, and I said, instead of doing that, do something you love and you enjoy first.
Mhm.
Then go and look online. I
Mhm.
don't care if you spend 6 hours looking online, but do what you love first,
Yes.
because he was doing that before, and then he would go, okay, if I spend 6 hours here, then I'll go spend time with my kids and play at the park. And I was like, no, go
Yeah.
play at the park with your kids first.
Yeah.
Then when you come back and you're in a better mood, then sit down and do the thing that you weren't looking forward to, or the thing that you're
Yep.
beating yourself up over, because
Mhm.
you're going to come at it in a completely different energy.
better yet, do it for everything. It doesn't have to be something that you're dreading or that you're beating yourself
Right.
up over. Do it if you're dating and you're on dating apps. If
Mhm.
you're in a bad mood, don't get on a dating app because you're not going to match with anyone or you're only going to match with weirdos. So
Right, with the
when it
jerks
comes to
that
dating
align
apps,
with your energy.
do the same thing. When you honestly, it can go both ways. I think it depends on what your priority is. If you're, you want to take your kids to the park, but you're in a crappy mood, how do you get in a good mood before you even do that? What do you need to do?
Yeah, you need to look at your kids and you need to go,
Mm-hmm.
I have the most amazing kids. Even if they drive you crazy, they're still amazing. They're your
Yeah.
kids. Look at the legacy I'm leaving. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're amazing. I get to go play at the park. Other people are sitting at a desk wishing they could take their kids to the park. They
Mm-hmm.
don't get to see their kids till 7, 8 o'clock, or every other weekend if it's a broken family.
Mm-hmm.
So, how lucky am I that I am at the park with my kids?
Mm-hmm.
And I may be in a bad mood right now, but my kids, they don't need me to bring that to the park with us.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it at your desk if you want to,
Yeah.
because by the time you get there, it will be dissolved if you were in the moment at the park. And that doesn't mean go to the park and be on your phone looking for a job. It means put the phone away and slide down the slide or get on the swing or play tag with your kids. Like, be a kid, do something fun.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we may be adults, but we can laugh, we can joke, we can roll down a hill and be a kid. And it's going to spark that inner child, the happy inner child within us, and that energy is going to come out. And then how are you in a bad mood after that?
Yeah.
If you're enjoying the sun, the park, the green, the trees, the your kids, the sky, the clouds. Look at the clouds.
I mean, you're also just going to attract better things because you're going to be in a better state. It's kind of like that classic
Mhm.
scenario where you're working really, really hard on something, you're trying to figure it out, you can't figure it out, whether it's work, a hobby,
Mhm.
anything really, and then you go, you know what, I give up. You walk away, you go get
Mhm.
some coffee,
Yep.
you have a conversation with someone, you totally separate yourself from what you're doing because you are just at a point where you are over it. You come back and instantly know the solution.
Mhm.
Why? Because you're now in the energetic state to receive the solution. In a frustrated state, you are never going to find the answer.
Exactly. And how many times has that happened to both of us?
It happens to me constantly. That's why I try to avoid forcing things because I know if I step away, if I take a break, if I could do something else, I'm going to find the solution. Or I know that if it seems like everything is just constantly delaying me, I'm trying to work on something and I'm
Mhm.
delayed, I'm delayed, I'm delayed. Usually, when I finally do get to that thing, if that delay hadn't happened, I would have either wasted time, I would have done something the
Yep.
wrong way, something changed in that time period that changed how it needed to get done.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, it ends up that that was supposed to happen. But if I had forced it,
Yep.
it would have created a bigger headache for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Raymond, put in the comments what is your go-to to shift your energy? What do you do? Um, and anybody else that's watching, put in the comments, how do you
The other
manage
day, I went
it?
outside and put my hands on the in the dirt.
That's a great thing to do.
I was
I
wearing,
Yeah,
yeah, I was wearing socks. I didn't want to change my shoes, so I was like, I'm just gonna stick my hands in the dirt. It worked.
I was going to say, did it work?
Hmm. Sure did.
When I think, we have animals, and in the mornings we have to go and we have to take care of the animals and feed them and all of that. It gives us time, because we've talked about this, it gives us time to pause on those mornings. I know my mornings are different on my, because we alternate mornings. My mornings are different the mornings that I go out and I do that, because I'm out in nature. I saw like three cardinals. One followed me as I would go. It was like going from tree to tree and then ended up on, by the back door. And it's magical when you take a moment to look around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's the other thing is, take a look around at the miracles that are happening around you. Okay, yeah, you may have a crappy boss. Okay, you may not like the team you work with. Okay, the environment may suck at work. But outside of that, what's outside? What's out the window? What's up in the sky? What about the flowers that you probably walk by every single day? You
Yeah.
can find it anywhere.
Well, and I think, a lot of times we get focused on the big thing that's bothering us, and we miss the little simple joys, like you're saying. I mean, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
maybe your boss is a total jerk, but your coworker brought you coffee in your favorite mug just
Yeah.
because. But you were so focused on how much your boss was a jerk, you didn't notice the sweet gesture from a friend.
Yeah.
Or maybe your kids are driving you up the wall,
No.
but one of them brings you a drawing of you with hearts on it or something. But
Right.
you're so focused on how crazy they've been all day that you give it one quick glance and then write it off.
Yeah.
There's so many everyday life occurrences that we overlook. I mean,
Mhm.
let's be honest. Us having this conversation right now is a literal miracle.
Yeah.
It may not even be real because, truth be told, science can't prove that any of this is real. So the fact that this is happening, and we talked about this just recently, but this is happening. We're having this conversation. We are
Mhm.
made up of microscopic cells that
Yes.
are being held together by, I don't really know the scientific language of it. I
Mhm.
understand whatever. Um, but we don't even fully understand our consciousness or how it works that we're having this conversation in this floating rock in an ever expanding universe that circles around giant balls of gas,
In
one of
in a body that runs itself.
in a body that runs itself, that has cells that duplicate and recreate themselves and can morph into other cells.
Mhm. I know.
Well, how far down that rabbit hole you go, because it really starts to make you question things.
Right. And sometimes question it in a good way, but
Yeah.
yet when you first start questioning it feels icky.
Yes.
So this is, I'm guessing you're kind of referring back to the surrender experience, or what was the first book? Is it Michael Singer? The Art of Surrender, or
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah.
read it and then I read the second part. So he was just, I went through a whole chapter and he was talking about this and I was like, what the hell does all of this have to do with this book? Like it started to annoy me and I was like, why is this annoying me? Because I was being impatient. And the point he was making is, yeah, the planets aligned, the universe was just right, the stars were, and then boom, and then all of a sudden things happened. We didn't do that. And
Mhm.
he's like, and so many people are like, well, I had a baby. Really? You made a baby? Okay, make one for me. Go in the other room. Well, that's funny. Um, create create an eyeball. Like it's my eyeball. I have. And he's like, none of that you did. You did none of that.
Hmm.
All you did was inhabit the body that you're in right now. That's it. So, are you listening to what did create you, whatever you believe? Are you listening to that? Are you being the vessel?
Mhm.
Did you bring forth the information with you so that you could apply the wisdom, which most of us, I would say 99.9% of us don't remember the information we brought with us
Mhm.
unless we're connected and we're intuitively allowing that information to flow out.
Yeah.
That is the missing piece, is the energy you're in and your intuition, and making sure that your energy is as high as it can be in the moment.
Mhm.
And we all get pissed off, we all get sad, we all get depressed, we all get anxious, we all get, have a panic attack every once in a
Yeah.
while or a lot. Wherever you're at, if you can recognize it, okay, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Where do I want to be? Okay, I want to feel better. And then take one step, do one thing,
Yep.
whatever that is, to guide you into that next step.
Yeah.
That's it. And then from there, you go to the next step and the next step. And then you just allow everything else to happen around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, that was the missing puzzle piece, because I would beat myself up. I should be in a better mood. I should feel better. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should, going back to the shoulds. And you got to throw that out. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now.
Yeah. I think the missing puzzle piece for me was, I would, let's say in the example of like waiting for that thing that you want, I would go, okay, well, how am I supposed to envision already having it? I don't have it. How am I supposed to get in that feeling? How am I supposed to stay in that feeling? So the missing puzzle piece for me was just get off the subject completely. If that doesn't come naturally to you, literally get off the subject. Whether that looks like distracting yourself, I'll say that word lightly, because that can be a crutch and also something not good. But in the
Right.
case of this, reading a book, doing some extra work, focusing on other things. If it's your career's bothering you, you focus on your loved ones, you focus on your relationships, you focus on your, maybe the pets that you have, you focus on maybe doing some volunteer work, you focus on nature, you
Hmm.
focus on other things. If it's dating, you focus on work, you focus on your other relationships, you
Right.
focus on et cetera, et cetera. Whatever it is that isn't necessarily up to par of what you want, focus on other things. If it
Right.
does not come easily to you to easily envision and feel what it's like to be where you want to be, change your focus.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as it pops in your head, nope, change your focus.
Or go, okay, we're doing this today. All right, cool. Show me what what you want to show me. Let all those
I'm
negative
talking
thoughts
about
come
long
up.
term compulsively because and
Yeah.
again, it goes back to your mindset. For me, I'd be doing
Well,
that all day, every day. I have
okay.
to get off the subject.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. If it's like the first couple times, sure, explore it, feel it out. What are you trying to be shown? But if it keeps happening, get off the subject completely.
Yeah. And for me, that other part was because I used to be the person, and I remember when I worked at the hospital, somebody had said to me, sometimes you have to just envision yourself in your happy place. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where's your happy place? And I was like, oh, easy. The keys on the boat, you know, the boat's rocking, your father's fishing, you guys are hanging out, whatever. For me, that's my happy place. And so the next time I went there, the next time we went to the Keys and we were on the boat, and that exact scenario was happening,
Mm-hmm.
I remember laying there and going, okay, absorb this, everything about it.
I did the same thing.
Absorb it and remember every detail, like every
Yeah.
bird, every sound, everything about it, the smells,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And then I've been able to carry that. And it's been like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my feet up on the engine. I'm laying in the sun on the back of the boat. I gave up fishing, like I was like, okay, enough fishing for the day. And I remember that day. And whenever I feel stressed, whenever I feel like I need a little shift, that's where I go.
Mm-hmm. Years ago, I had a friend of mine, and it still stuck with me to this day. I had a friend of mine that we we were just having like a hangout. I think we were maybe even like elementary school. And it was so profound to me at the time. She was like, let's make a memory. And I was like, what? And she was like, let's make a memory. Stop and let's both like really focus on just remembering this moment. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. So there's really something to be said about taking that second to
Hmm.
literally say to yourself, remember this. And there's a key here, and this is an NLP thing that
Hmm.
we both learned. Don't say, oh, I don't want to forget this, or oh, don't forget this. I want to remember this. Oh,
Hmm.
remember this moment. Remember,
Yeah.
not don't forget, because in the don't
Right.
forget, your mind doesn't hear the negative. So it hears forget. So you always want to
Exactly.
say, I want to remember this moment. Oh, really remember this moment. Let me remember this moment.
Hmm.
And it really is profound when like you give your brain that kind of direction. it really does then hold on to it and remember it. So that's really cool that you brought that up.
Well, cool. Let's do that now. So we're gonna take some deep breaths,
Okay.
and you can either remember this moment, or you can bring up something that just recently happened that you want to remember.
Okay.
So, and bring that in, and then on the last breath, we're going to just see that memory sink into our hearts, because
Okay.
that's how I like to do it. And then and you don't have to do it that way. Do it any way you want. But I like to like literally put it up on a shelf in my heart,
Okay.
like organized.
Okay.
Okay, big deep breath in and hold it. Bring in whatever memory you want to remember. And then exhale. And then a big deep breath in. And then exhale. And then one more. And then this time, let the memory just come right down into your heart. And if you're like me, put it in a little special box or something, put it up on the shelf.
Maybe it's a little decoupage box that's got little hearts all over it.
Something you painted with yourself, like on your own. Oh, even those moments are so special,
Mm-hmm.
when you create. So I hope that that really helped everybody with some ideas on how they can shift and realign, so that way you can welcome in, and get yourself through those challenging moments. And we all have them. And the thing is, with challenging moments, or when you're upset, annoyed, you're just, it's okay. It's you. It's you. You're responding the way that you respond. It's
Yeah.
you. And it's not ever going away, but you can shorten the time that that part of you takes from the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You can overthink and question something and relive it and rehash it for
Mm-hmm.
weeks, for days, or you can do it for a couple minutes and be like, yeah, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So screw that. I'm going to go listen to some fun music and shake it out, whatever. But do something for yourself, get yourself realigned. You're welcome for this information. We just got a comment that was saying, thank you for this information. You're welcome. Um, if you want to discuss this more, if you want some guidance, just something to help you learn and practice, get into the habit of trusting this process, because it does take practice. It's not something you can just decide you're going to change and just change it. I mean, you can, but to stick to it for long term is more what I'm talking about. Um, then book a call. Go to mokshagrace.com/coaching. I was like waiting for it to pop up. Uh, and we can absolutely go through this uh, on the call and talk about, what do you need? Do you need something short term, long term? Do you just need that conversation? And so we can go over that. Also, Odonata community is open every Thursday night. You can register and you can join the community. We have group coaching calls on Thursday nights. You're more than welcome to join us. We have these conversations, like I said. And yeah, follow me on all social media at Moksha Grace. And Krista, where can they find you?
I'm around. You can find me. Just look up my name, Krista Barone. I'm on the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the Instagram. If you want to follow a page about goats and chickens and farm life, you can follow Country Acre. Oh, look, I have it actually at Country Acre on Instagram or Facebook for lots of cute little farm faces.
How many times are we in a bad mood and we watch animal videos, whether it's
Oh my
funny cat
gosh.
videos, funny dog videos? Well, you can watch funny goat videos, cat videos, and dog videos all in one space
Yeah,
on Country Acre,
true.
which is our Country Acre, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
No, we're not sending you to someone else's page.
yeah, no, it's me behind the screen.
So, thank you all for joining us today. We love when we have you here and we appreciate it. Remember that you can have a good day or a bad day, it's all up to you. So, make good choices because it's all about choices. So, have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.